Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. My name is Marco and I'm here to help you master your money and build your wealth. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the largest wealth transfer in human history and how it is just beginning. We are in the early stages of a 71 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, $71 trillion wealth transfer from the baby boomers into the younger generations. We'll get right into it with this presentation that me and my research analyst, Joe Consorti, put together. If you want to follow Joe on Twitter, it's at Joe Consorti. So we're talking about United States cohorts by age and gender in this slide. Basically, on the left side, we have the females. On the right side, we have the males. And you can see people born in 1920 all the way down to 2020. Okay, and then basically these are grouped in age of 5-year cohorts, and boomers age 54 to 75 hold an estimated $71 trillion of wealth. There are 75 boomers nearing retirement, and 10,000 each day are hitting retirement age. So when I worked in commercial real estate, we owned about 750,000 square feet of office space, which I leased out to businesses in the area. Throughout multiple buildings. We actually started diversifying or divesting from that office space portfolio and getting into senior living because of this statistic. 10,000 each day are hitting retirement age and also hitting 60 and older. So you can see here that boomers, they make up a significant portion of this chart. And then the biggest is millennials. You can see here the actual biggest stripe here is the 25 to 29-year-olds, and same thing with the males as well as the females, okay? So as we get into this, we're talking about a gradual then sudden wealth transfer. So anybody over the age of 40, their net worth has never been higher. So if you look at this chart right here, this is talking about the net worth of people 70 and older as a share of U.S. GDP. So you can see all these 70-year-olds from basically 1990 all the way to, let's say, 2019 or so. Then we have a huge spike up here where the 70-year-olds and olders are making up a huge part of the U.S. GDP, okay? So you can see here, this is the dollars right here at the wealth transfer that we're talking about. So we have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 trillion. And you can see from 2018 to 22 how small this number is, made up of heirs, charity, donations to charity, and gifts. And as you can see, as every 4-year cohort moves along, you can see how much bigger and bigger this wealth transfer will actually be, with the biggest happening in 2038 to 2042. So we're just now in the beginning stages of where this starts to get much bigger from 2023 to 2027. And you can see here that it gets exponentially bigger at about 16 years from now, okay? So in 2030, all boomers will have hit the retirement age of 65, and there's going to be a huge wealth transfer that accelerates after 2030, as we just saw right here. So as we move along, there's going to be great news if you're younger. The average inheritance in 2019 was $212,854, and it's slated to grow up to 10% in the next decade. However, there is going to be a delay of this transfer because 2 out of 10 baby boomers actually delayed retirement due to cerveza sickness, and 79% of workers age 57 to 75 said they would rather be semi-retired than leave the workforce entirely. So now that we've established this tremendous amount of wealth being transferred into the next decade, let's explore where this money is and how you can potentially position yourself to actually take advantage of this wealth transfer. So this next wealth generation by breakdown slide, this will actually show you how much money is going into the system. So roughly $90 trillion of soon-to-be distributed wealth is coming onto the market, or into the hands of the next generations, I should say. So millennials are the poorest generation on record as of the time of this recording, and there's going to be a huge colossal transfer because there is a huge disparity. So if you look at this chart is showing Q2 2005 all the way to Q1 2022. So you can see here from 05, in the dark green, we have the silent and earlier generation. The light green is the baby boomer generation. Yellow, or light yellow, if you will, is Gen X, and then red is millennial. You can see millennials are down here in 2022 with just $9.4 trillion of wealth. Here's the $71 trillion of wealth we talked about with baby boomers. And then you can see the silent and earlier generations only have about 18.5 trillion because obviously they're older. Some have passed away. Some haven't worked in years or decades. So the highest earners are in this cohort right here. You typically earn the most amount of money in your 40s and 50s. And then, once you get into retirement in your 60s, that starts to wane off a little bit. So do not get left behind after this huge wealth transfer is occurring. Boomers typically own a larger portion of equities and consumer durables than millennials. So this simply just means that boomers own a larger portion of stocks and things like automobiles, houses, appliances, things like that. That's what constitutes consumer durables, furniture, mobile homes, things like that. So millennials are poised to own more than 50% of all real estate after this wealth transfer is going to happen. And we're going from the poorest generation to the wealthiest. So if you can see here, I know the font is a little bit small, but basically you have the silent and earlier generation making up roughly that 18 point whatever trillion dollars right here, just under 20 trillion. Look at the baby boomers. They are at 71 trillion right here. And you can see most of that is made up of real estate, equities and mutual funds, and then other assets. Gen X is a little bit smaller, and then millennials are over here being the poorest, as we mentioned. And then you can see the percentage of total, what it's made up of. You can see, again, silent generation, equities and mutual funds, same thing with boomers. Look at millennials. Only a small percentage of their net worth is made up of equities and mutual funds, which is kind of crazy to me. I would have thought it would be a lot more stocks. And then real estate seems to be the biggest. You can see millennials own about 35.6% of real estate, which I think is pretty interesting. I thought it would be the actual opposite. And sorry, real quick, just to back up, the source for this is actually coming from federalreserve.gov. So this isn't just some random website. So how are we going to position ourselves to benefit? So I talk about this a lot on my channel. We need to be financially savvy. So once this wealth transfer starts to happen, typically in the form of baby boomers passing away, passing it down to their heirs, we're going to see a sudden influx of wealth going on to the next generation. So you don't want to go out and buy a new car, a boat, or a new house, things that I talk about on this channel. You got to look for big wins, guys, okay? When the form of big wins typically comes in lifestyle reduction, not from a quality of life, but you don't need, the Ferrari, for example. The Toyota is just fine. So, for example, what I'm trying to say is you don't need to buy, a ridiculous car, a ridiculous boat, a new house, things like that. You need to spend time allocating into assets with free cash flows to retain and, more importantly, grow your wealth. So I always talk about financial independence on this channel. Once your cash flows can meet or exceed your monthly obligations in terms of expenses, you are then technically, by definition, financially free. So think about assets. It's kind of like the rich dad, poor dad mentality. Think about assets instead of liabilities. Number 2 is discuss a living will, okay, and also a deed with your loved ones. I know this is kind of taboo in a lot of cultures. A lot of people don't want to talk about this because, the second you make the will, you're going to pass away, right? So a lot of people are very touchy about this, but this is the proper way to go about doing things. Number 3, obviously having a plan. Don't fly blind with brand new cash. This is kind of the analogy of, lottery winners, if you will. They start having family members come out of the woodwork asking them to help them out and this and that. You don't want to be, the lottery winner that squanders all this wealth within a couple of years or within a generation, if you will. So don't make poor decisions. And then also, I always talk about this on the channel, you need to allocate properly. Think of your net worth as a pie, okay? So say, for example, your net worth is, let's just say for easy numbers, $100,000. We'll have a certain percentage in each slice of the pie. Say you want 25% in real estate, that's 25 grand. Say you want 25% in cryptocurrency, that's 25 grand. That's just an example for this conversation. Say you want 33% in stocks, that's 33 grand, right? Always think of your net worth as a pie and allocate to where if any of those slices went to zero, you can still sleep well at night. And then finally, build a tax strategy so capital gains doesn't vaporize your inheritance. A couple key factors to talk about before we end the presentation. Biden has a proposal to tax unrealized capital gains upon death, which is insane in my opinion. This is going to be anywhere from 23.8% to 43.4% if the inheritance is sold. And then finally, 70% of families who inherit wealth lose it by the next generation. Let me repeat that. 70% of families who inherit wealth lose it by the next generation. So let's get into my thoughts here. Thanks again, Joe, for putting that together. So we saw how this wealth transfer is going to be happening within the next 16 years. So by 2038, that's when we're seeing that biggest chunk of wealth being transferred to the next generation. And obviously, it's going to happen within those 16 years as well. So the biggest takeaway from this is there's a lot of wealth that, our parents or grandparents, or depending on how old you are watching this video, they've worked their entire lives to build up, hopefully this positive net worth, hopefully these assets that they're going to have with equities, mutual funds, consumer durables, which we saw in the presentation. Those things are either going to get sold for money, for, dollars or some equivalent of value, and they're going to be passed on to us, if it isn't squandered or if they don't have a bunch of debt, right? So I think the biggest takeaway from this video is that you need to plan accordingly. You don't want to be one of these lottery winners that wins, millions of dollars, and next thing you know, 5-10 years later, you have nothing to show for it. You have a cool house, a cool car, you built a pool in your backyard, and where'd the rest of the money go, right? So I think that you have to treat this almost as like a signing bonus. Like, say if you're a professional athlete and you get all this money at once, or if you're signing on to a new C-level position at work and you get a huge signing bonus, you need to treat this accordingly. So it goes back to my fundamentals of treating it like a pie. You need to know what you're investing in and why you're investing in it in the first place, and you always need to keep those slices of your pie in check. Again, going back to the analogy of 25% in real estate, 33% in stocks, whatever. Those are just made up numbers for the sake of this video. But once you figure out where you can sleep well at night, if any of those slices were to go to zero, then you have a portfolio that you can invest in for the long term. So this wealth transfer is going to be pretty exciting. I don't wish death or anything upon anyone, obviously. Obviously, family, friends, and health are the most important things, and time, but it's inevitable. People pass away. Money gets transferred down. So talk to a CPA or a tax professional. Talk to a real estate planner. Get the living will. Do all the things we talked about in this video, and set yourself up for success, not for failure. And think of generations after you. Don't just think of yourself. So hopefully this was helpful, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. My videos don't get as much traction as they used to, probably because I don't post frequently enough, but there's a ton of value in every video that I put out. Again, I don't put out a lot of videos, but when I do, they're well thought out. And then shout out to Joe, the research assistant, for helping putting this presentation together. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a prosperous day. Oh, Grandma passed away. Sorry to hear that. Okay, when's the funeral? Okay. All right, I'll be there.